talk with our love. What does that look like? Turn if you would, and I got to be careful how I touch this thing or it'll mess me up. Turn if you would over to James, the first chapter. And I'm going to start in verse 22. It says, "But prove yourselves doers of the word and not merely hearers who delude themselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks at his natural face in a mirror. For once he has looked at himself and gone away, he has immediately forgotten what kind of person he was. But one who looks intently at the perfect law, the law of liberty, and abides by it, not having become a forgetful hearer, but an effectual doer, this man will be blessed in what he does. If anyone thinks himself to be religious and yet does not bridle his tongue, but deceives his own heart, this man's religion is worthless. Pure and undefiled religion in the sight of our God and Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself unstained by the world." I heard somebody one time describe what love is. And we always like to think of it as the warm, fuzzy feeling when we're young and in love, right? But he described it as meeting needs. Meeting needs. In other words, love isn't just something you feel. Love isn't just something, it's actually something that you do. Think about your everyday life with living at home. It's something you do to meet the needs of your husband or your wife. You meet needs to help each other out and through this life. So in this, when he's up here, "But prove yourselves doers of the word," if you're going to talk about love, then you need to have the action to back it up, to show what love is. And he talks about looking at your natural face in a mirror. And Paul will get down into 1 Corinthians, the 13th, at the bottom of the chapter, and he'll talk about a mirror there too. But we can look and see what kind of person we were, but then walk away, and what do? Nothing, right? We don't prove ourselves doers of the word. We just walk away because we forgot already what kind of a person we are, an effectual hearer or effectual doer or a forgetful hearer. But then he gets down into, "If anyone thinks himself to be religious and yet does not bridle his tongue but deceives his own heart, this man's religion is worthless." What does he mean by that? It means you're a talker. You talk a good game, but you don't do anything to show it or to prove it. You're just a talker. And then he says, "Pure and undefiled religion in the sight of our God and Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself unstained by the world." So if you want to talk about love, love is something you do. Love is something like he's talking about there. You meet needs. Every year at Costco, and I just went through this too, they always ask me, you have to go online. They used to coerce you into it, but now they don't do that. But you have to go on the computer at work, and they want you to give to the United Way. Now, that might be a good thing to do. It's not one of my favorite organizations to give to because you really don't know where